on the rundown. After 44 years, Michael Myers and Laurie Strode finally go head-to-head in an epic showdown, bringing David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy to a close. I'll give you my thoughts on Halloween Ends. Speaking of showdowns, the girls are fighting once again because Nicki Minaj is now beefing with yet another female rapper.
It's delusional to say that other girls are flourishing. Recognize we weren't giving the platforms that we're being given right now.
We'll break down her Twitter war with Latto. Todrick Hall is clapping back at his critics who have been reporting on his stunt queen antics.
Would stop hanging out with Todrick after their seasons because he is not a nice person.
I really wish that people who have never met me would just stop talking shit about me on the internet.
Hall says he's owned up to his mistakes, but has he? I'll give you my thoughts. Plus, we have some news on Issa Rae versus Ezra Miller and Cardi B versus Tasha K. All coming up on The Rundown with your host, Chris Avalon.
I just saw me too. Is this thing on? Is a black background? I don't see myself. I'm in the show, but I don't see myself. Hey, Robert. I don't see me. Cut on my camera. I don't see you. Hold on. Let me refresh because I do not see myself. Yeah, I see the. Okay, I just saw. Okay, there's a black background. I do not see my face or myself in the screen. But anyway, since y'all saying y'all see me, I don't know. People who are watching, if you see me, let me know because I don't see myself in the screen. But anyway, how y'all doing? Welcome to a brand new episode of. Can y'all turn me down a little bit? This music is really loud in my ears. Oh, I'm fine. Well, how you doing? Welcome to a brand new episode of The Rundown. Basically, it's a weekly show where we can just go in and let it have on all the recurring and current hot topics. Oh, I see me now. Hi. I didn't see me before, bitch. Now I see me. I don't know. Something's going on. It was a glitch in the matrix. But we here. We got everything worked out. So now, let's get to the show. I just had me a little edible. So forgive me if I'm be a little sloppy, a little messy, a little all over the place. You know, that California Kush, bitch, that should be hitting. Anyway, so yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Halloween Ends. I'm going to give you my review on that. I don't want to try to spend, because I've been seeing a lot of people online putting out their reviews of it. I don't want to be spending 45 minutes trying to break down that damn movie because it was a lot. It was a lot going on in that film. I'm still trying to make sense of what the hell I watched last night, but I'm trying to zhuzh it all up in here so we can fit all this stuff up in here because we got an action-packed show. So we have that. We got some Brandy news. We got to talk about Nicki Minaj being a mess, fighting with another damn rapper. It's just the girls have been fighting this week. We got Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Louder than me. I can barely, I got new headphones, so everything sounds extra loud in my ears. But yes, so we got Michael Myers and Laurie Strode fighting. We got Brandy fighting to stay alive because she had a seizure. We got Cardi B and Tasha K still fighting. We got Todrick Hall fighting with freaking influencers on social media. We got Issa Rae fighting with Ezra Miller. The girls was fighting this week. It's just battle upon battle. We got 50 Cent fight with his damn son. I couldn't fit that up in this episode. But we'll try to see if that escalates, or maybe we'll squeeze that into next week. And of course, the girl was fighting on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so we have to break down that reunion part one because I'm sure it's gonna be 3 of them. Because Andy Cohen loves to stretch out a reunion. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're gonna talk about BravoCon because that's going on this weekend. So there's just a lot. So without further ado, before we get into some things, click like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff because that helps with the algorithm. So definitely, just if you can, it definitely helps with the numbers. I'm gonna cut up the episodes and stuff like in little smaller segments so that way we can get those numbers up because I've noticed that's really been helping the show as well. So without further ado, let's get into some stuff. So let's give, before we get into the meat and potatoes, prayers up for my girl Brandy, because she took to social media with a heartfelt message to her fans, thanking them for their genuine concerns after she was rushed to the hospital earlier this week for having a seizure. We don't know what actually caused the seizure, but here's what she said. She said, "To my beloved fam, friends, and stars," she spelled stars like the damn network, "thank you for sending love and light my way. I am following Dr. Z's orders," obviously after the S, "and getting the rest I need due to dehydration and low amounts of nutrition. Thank you for your prayers and support. Grateful for you all. See you soon. Heart and a star emoji." I'm glad that she's been getting the help she needs. I'm wondering what all of this is from. She's been dealing, which right, because now I see myself on the screen. I don't know, for some reason the screen is black on my end, but now I see myself. It's just, I don't know what's happening. The one thing I have to say is that I don't know what's going on with her. I remember back in the day, Brandy did say that, I think, didn't she say she battled eating disorders? Like she had an eating disorder coming up in the industry, like when she was younger, and there was this need to be skinny, because in Hollywood, it's like if you eat a damn sandwich, you're fat. That's one of the main reasons why I had to leave LA. It wasn't even about whether, because I was ODing. I would walk, go on hikes, go to the gym. There's this pressure in LA that you have to be thin. And I saw a recent picture of her. Miss Mamas was out here looking like a Bratz doll. Like the head was big and the body was skinny. She, in people's minds, they think like, oh, they overweight and this, that, and the third. But Brandy, you already look good. You're an amazing talent. You don't need to compete with these other girls. You don't need to kind of stoop yourself down or whatever. So it could have been stress dealing with Ray J and everything that's been going on with him and them Kardashians and all this stuff. Sidebar. Ray J, it's hard for me to defend you when you out at that damn red carpet premiere looking like the Pillsbury Doughboy in one of, some old church suit, standing next to Kanye and them buffoonery, him and Candace Owens, who, if y'all need to see, y'all definitely need to check out that post that's been floating around social media about Candace, and how a former classmate or someone she went to school with put her on blast, was talking about how she had the NAACP basically out here trying to, she was being treated with the ultimate disrespect. All kinds of N-words, this, that, and the third was thrown in her direction. And the mayor's son was in on it. And she got the NAACP involved and it was a settlement. And now, because there's no money to make from being a social justice warrior, fighting for good, she decided to go the Michael Myers route and decided to sell her own damn people for a coin, similar to what Kanye's doing. And the rest of these, field slaves that thinking they're going to get up in the house with massa. And it's going to work for a moment. But look, I say about this before, when the chickens come home to roost, don't come back home to your people. Stay out there with them folk that you decided to sell yourself out for. So, So Robert says Ray J was at the premiere of The Greatest Lie Ever Told, the Candace Owens documentary. Yeah, that's that Black Lives Matter documentary. I was actually going to talk about that on the show, about how, she was anorexic. So that could be a play from, when you start doing things to your body, you're prone to seizures and things like that. So I think with, in so many words, good luck, Brandy, Ray J, figure it out what you're doing, because people are not going to take you seriously when you say one thing, you go on Charlamagne's show, and then you pull this dumb stunt, and then you expect us to take you seriously. It's like, stop being a clown. Because we care about you over here, but when y'all continue to align yourselves with certain folk, and then when y'all treat it like the runaway slaves that y'all acting like, then you want to run back home and expect sympathy and empathy. It's not how that works. So anyway, good luck to you, Brandy. And get well soon, because you got a lot on your plate. I know you did a horror movie. I think she's also supposed to be doing another show or something or another. So, we need you around. And plus, girl, you the vocal Bible. You can't have somebody else take that spot. Sidebar. Oh no, not even sidebar. This is a breaking news, child. So I got this before I even went live, because there was some things we had to work out behind the scenes when we went live. But I got some tea on Rihanna. So y'all know that she has the Super Bowl thing happening in February. But right now, yeah, she's still dealing with the fashion. So while, you got people out here putting their clothes in garbage bags, Riri is currently in California on a ranch filming The Savage X Fenty, the next chapter of that. And she's putting all that together. So it's going to be filmed in the style like she did with the previous 2 fashion shows. Not the first one. The first one was live. The other 2 were pretty much, they just filmed it and did all that extra, stuff that they were doing with it. So that's what's going on now. So she's currently out in California on a ranch filming. I got this from a very reliable source. A friend of mine who knows one of the designers that are submitting, that help design a lot of the looks and things of that nature. So that's what's happening out in LA. And when y'all be like, this tea, don't worry about it. When November comes around and y'all see that show on Prime, you'll know that it was it's taking place on the ranch. That's all. So let's get into this Halloween Ends situation. So we had so before I even got to watching Halloween Ends, I watched the original Halloween. Okay, I made it a whole event. Number one, let me just say that. So I watched the 1978 Halloween. Then I watched Halloween 2, the one, where the whole theory of Michael Myers being Laurie's sister and brother, that they were siblings. Then I watched Halloween 2018, when I should have just watched Halloween and then Halloween 2018. And then you watch Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends. But I try to make it a little event every day, leading up to the big movie. So I watched Halloween Ends last night. And I watched it on Peacock. I know a lot of y'all probably gonna be like, well, how you ain't go to movie? Okay, whatever. First of all, I got Peacock. I've been paying for it. Technically, I actually paid for the movie because I watched it on Peacock. You have to have the paid subscription to watch it. It's not like it was free. So technically, I did pay for it. I didn't pay $20-some to see it in IMAX, but nevertheless, I paid to watch it because I had to have the pay portion of Peacock to watch it. And I'm gonna get into this breakdown of this conversation, and Robert sent me this 10 minutes before we even went live. So I'm glad I looked at my messages before I went live on the show. But he sent me a post regarding Christopher Landon, who directed Freaky, the movie with, I think the girl, it was with Vince Vaughn as a serial killer, and then he switched places with this girl. That was actually a good movie. I like that. I actually like that film. I didn't see it in the movies, but I did see it. I saw it on HBO Max or one of them damn streaming services. But he recently spoke out and said how the whole day and date thing was a bad idea. And we'll break that down after I get through this review. So let's get some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, so after the events of Halloween Kills, we're transported 4 years later in Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends basically is more or less not even about Michael Myers. Michael Myers was pretty much it was damn near a cameo at this point. Michael Myers did not show up in this movie until damn near an hour into the fucking film, which, in my opinion, was like, what the hell is going on? And even by that time, we only had one death, and that was the opening sequence. So let's get into the opening sequence. And now the opening sequence was basically this kid, Corey Cunningham, who went to this house 4 years ago. I think it was, what was it? It was 4 years. Oh my God, why am I bugging? It's like 2019 or something. When he went to go babysit this family's house. They had a huge house. Kid's name was Jeremy. That little boy was an asshole, number one. First of all, the mother was like, oh, well, don't, he's been having nightmares since the whole Michael Myers situation. He wets the bed every night, this, that, and the third. Man, apparently, this little boy was a savage, like a little nightmare. I said, well, somebody kill this motherfucker already? Because, you know, this little boy was being a pain in the butt. But somehow, well, Michael Myers doesn't kill children. He only kills babysitters. And I love the homage of how they were watching John Carpenter's The Thing in this one, while, you know, with him and the babysitter, whereas in the original Halloween, the 1978 version, Lindsay and Tommy Doyle, may he rest in peace, because, you know, Michael killed him off in Halloween Kills, was watching the original Thing from, I think, the 50s. So I like that little, I like the little of the Easter eggs from the hardcore fans. So Jeremy is being babysat by Corey. So then he goes into the kitchen. Jeremy disappears. We're starting to think, okay, in this over the sequence, Michael Myers came up in the house. He's going to kill Corey. He's going to kill the little boy. Turns out the little boy was playing a little trick on him. So he goes upstairs. He's looking for Jeremy. Can't find him. He goes into this room in the attic. Jeremy locks him in the room. Yeah, this is going to be a spoiler. So if y'all didn't see the movie, you might want to just fast forward until you get to the next segment. So he's trying to open the door, whatever. He can't get it open. Jeremy's taunting him on the other way. Oh, he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. You know, all that annoying shit. I was like, oh my God, if you don't drop kick this little motherfucker. And I knew it was gonna happen before it happened. He's trying to open the door. I said, he's gonna kick that door open. And what's gonna happen is that little boy, that door gonna hit him, and he's gonna go flying over that banister. I knew that was gonna happen, and lo and behold, that's what happened. And I was like, oh shit. So he gets the door open, hits the boy so damn hard, flies over the banister. Parents come in the house looking for him because they hear all the noise. Kid falls off the banister, and there was like 3 flights of stairs. Hits the damn floor, splat. I was like, I cannot believe they put this in this movie. So I'm like, okay, so this is the ride we're about to go on. Cue the font, the blue font, this, that, and the other. I got where they were going with this because they were like, this is not going to be your typical Halloween movie. They used the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch blue font. So I knew that's what I was going to do with that because I actually watched Halloween 3 the other day. That's how I picked it up. So then when we see where Laurie and Allison are, so now we get into the movie. Laurie and Allison are pretty much living together because, you know, Michael killed Allison's mother in Halloween Kills. Killed her father in Halloween 2018. So now Laurie and Allison are living together. Laurie's writing her memoirs. She's gotten help she needed with her mental health. Apparently everybody else in Haddonfield didn't get the memo because they out here shooting themselves and hanging themselves. And people trying to blame that shit on Michael. And what is the office? Was the officer bracket or sheriff bracket? I don't remember. But officer, I think in the credits it said officer. I'm like, wait a minute. As old as he is, why is he still an officer? But anyway, that's a little nitpick. So Officer Brackett, fuck it, I'm gonna just call him Sheriff Brackett. Sheriff Brackett went and was like, that's not Michael's MO. Like, Michael's not gonna shoot people. He uses a knife or anything sharp. He's not gonna use a gun. He's not gonna lift you up. He'll lift you up and stab you with a knife, as we saw one of the sequences in the original film from 1978, and we saw it in this one with the nurse. We'll get to that one in a minute. A callback to one of his old kills. So his MO is usually like to cut people up and stab them and this, that, and the third. Michael is not gonna, he'll lift you up, but it's to impale you on some shit. He ain't gonna hang you. So, Laurie's writing a memoir. I don't remember the name of the title of it. It probably had some Lifetime Movie of the Week title, something cheesy or very Hallmark channel. I don't remember. But, so then what I found relatively, so I like some of the themes and stuff, the whole victim shaming, because you saw like some of the people that survived the aftermath of Michael Myers, like people who have encountered him, and some didn't. The ones who killed themselves did not encounter him. They were just, I guess, trauma or whatever, because that was the big thing they were latching on to, trauma. But I did find it fascinating that he did the whole victim shaming thing. Some of the dialogue in this movie, y'all were hammering it up. Like, I felt like I was watching one of those really cheesy films, like a Lifetime movie. Y'all were really hamming up the acting and the dialogue. It was a little corny, but it's a horror movie. I'm not expecting Shakespeare. So I did find it fascinating that they did the whole, they were playing the whole victim shaming thing, which is what happened with Corey. So Corey did not go to jail for killing this little boy. It was an accident, but he has become the town pariah. So people pick on him. He's had it hard. He's basically working in his father's garage. Stepfather, actually. His mother's an asshole. Which I was watching Christine the other day. I actually watched it earlier today. And I'm like, I saw a lot of the nods. Because, you know, Arnie Cunningham was the kid who was the nerd and was getting picked on in school. Mother was annoying as fuck. Father was a bit of an asshole, too. But once he comes across this car that, you know, was haunted, you start to see this evil side of him coming out. And that's what the movie was exploring. Is it hereditary, or are you pushed so far up against the wall that it's like you lash out and that evil just always been up in you and it just comes out? So those were the themes that they were kind of asking in the film. And the whole victim shaming thing, because you remember the black lady that was in Halloween Kills when she watched her interracial husband, her white husband getting fucked up by Michael, and she basically got the lighting rod from the kitchen stuck in her throat. She survived, but she's confined to a wheelchair and she can't speak. So her sister was started lashing out at Lori when it wasn't even her fault. She said she provoked Michael. That was her working on her trauma. You can't force a killer to just be. You can't provoke a killer to do some crazy shit. So that was kind of like what they were asking. I don't want to dwell too much on that because I'm not trying to psychoanalyze those situations. Just give me all the tea. So I did find it interesting. First of all, I did not buy the fact that those 4 little high school nerds that Corey Cunningham should have been scared of them. Number one. First of all, they all look like you could just kick them in the nuts easily, even kick them girls in the pussy, and moved on. You were scared of them bitches? But I get it. There's some people who are just lovers, not fighters, or that need to be dragged up out of them. So, speaking of pussies, we definitely got to talk about how the way Michael was treated in this damn film. But before I get ahead of that, Lori does befriend Corey because she sees him getting picked on because one of the lead bullies wanted him to buy them alcohol and he refused. So they started picking on him and they realized who he was and this, that, and the other, started picking on all this other stuff. So then we don't get to see Michael until, like I said, damn near an hour into the movie, because there was another incident that happened that he goes to a party with Allison. And what happens is the kid Jeremy, who he kills a couple of years prior, Jeremy's mother is at the party, and she starts picking on him and chastising him. Why are you here? You should be having fun. This, that, and the third. Runs him up out of the bar, which apparently Lindsay Wallace runs the bar now. You know, remember Kyle Richards from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, who, sidebar, they wasted her in this movie. They didn't really do nothing with her. She popped up in a couple of scenes, and that was it. So it's like, girl, you could have just not had shown up on the show. That was probably a shoehorn in from Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis was also on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this season, as well as she showed up at the reunion. We'll get into that after this topic. So I found it interesting because, and then after that, he runs into the bullies again. The bullies beat him up. They throw him off the overpass onto the underpass. He lands on the underpass. Then he gets dragged into this sewer where apparently Michael's been living for the past 4 years. Still wounded, still hurt. Corey wakes up. He runs into Michael. Michael tries to choke him, still can't choke him. But apparently, Michael looks into Corey's eyes and sees a bit of himself, the evil, the darkness, all that other stuff. And so what happens is, Michael's like, oh, I see a little bit of me and you. So which starts the whole Christine reference, which is every time Michael kills, he gains that sort of power. So they start this whole Jedi-Padawan relationship, which came across at times as a bit homoerotic, especially during the sequence when, so he accidentally kills the homeless man. Because the homeless man, he's like, oh, he drags people in there occasionally. Why is he saving you? Go back in there. So then to get away from the guy, Corey kills the homeless guy, and then all of a sudden this ignites this hunger. So he starts to look at Michael, whereas there was this one sequence, I don't know, apparently in the past 4 years, Allison been getting around. So I guess she working through her trauma through her vagina. Because it seemed like she was just hunching a lot of people in Haddonfield. because she was at all these men was throwing themselves oh, we still gonna do some stuff and this and that. So I guess, at that point, she was on a date with Corey. Corey felt disrespected. He flexed. And that was that. So then the cop follows Corey. Corey knows he's being followed. He lures him to the underpass where, of course, Michael resides. Where Michael resides. Okay. I just had to go where the money resides. But anyway, so he takes he lures him down there, which I remember was similar to a sequence in Christine also. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. You'll start to notice a lot of references. Even down to having Corey working at auto body shop, which is where Arnie Cunningham would take Christine to fix her up and all that other stuff, to keep her there, because his mother apparently didn't want him to have that car, in the original movie. So he goes and lures the guy down there. He goes in a tunnel. And then it's funny, like, if you pay attention to the lighting in the shot, you definitely see Michael hiding out. So he's like, get up. Because Michael's getting beat up, apparently. He's been a pussy in the whole goddamn movie. People still able to beat him up. I don't know how it takes 4 years, you still ain't recuperate. But I guess it is a lot, because, you've been shot, you've been stabbed, beat with a bat. But I would have thought around that time, you would have did some kind of healing. But I don't know. I'm no doctor. So apparently, then every time, then he holds the guy down, the cop, lets Michael stab him, this and the other, slice his throat. Anytime that Michael would attack somebody, you would start to see this jolt go through his body where he's gaining this sense of power. So every time he kills somebody, he gets stronger, which is, I guess, a reference they were trying to do, a theme they were trying to make throughout the whole movie, where it's like the jolt through the body, you get this vibration, you get this feeling, he gets stronger. So apparently, it goes from that to actually Corey setting up kills for Michael so he can regain his power, including going after the doctor, who was an asshole to Allison, and the nurse, who apparently slept with the doctor to get her position. So that hence the scene where you see the girl in the house, with the pool, and she gets, hung up on the wall or whatever with the knife. I did say that I like seeing the survivors and seeing how they cope with the aftermath. I did not like a lot of the kills in this movie disappointed me. I think after watching Halloween Kills and just seeing all that carnage candy, in this one I felt it was a little lackluster. They cut away at a lot of kills. It was giving me they/them. What y'all were cutting up away from a lot of the kills. I wanted to see a lot of the kills. They were like, oh, you get an NC-17. How you get NC-17 off of prosthetic murders? Like, I don't understand the logic of, like, the MPAA and all the bullshit they do with that. But I did not like a lot of the kills of the film, particularly during when they went to kill the bullies. Finally, so before we even jump ahead of that, the most disrespectful shit that I've seen in this movie was at one point when Corey goes back to the sewer and wrestles Michael Myers. You see him come in the frame, out the frame, like they're fighting inside the tunnel. So we're watching that. And he wrestles him talking about, I need your mask. Because I felt like maybe he thought that he would gain some kind of power with Michael. So he managed to subdue Michael Jackson. We're going to talk about Michael Jackson because that has to do with the Housewives. I don't know why that just popped in my head. But anyway, Michael Myers, he takes Michael's mask off and then runs off with it and then starts killing with the mask on. So yeah, I like the suspense of it, but watching some of the kills, like y'all were killing people off camera. I didn't get to see the murder. I did particularly like the scene with the blowtorch. We blowtorch the main bully in the mouth. I did like that scene. They put it out of focus, probably because if it was too gory, they showed too much of it. They probably would have got an NC-17 for it. So I love that sequence. Also the sequence with the DJ. The DJ was an asshole. So I was like, can y'all just kill this motherfucker? Right? I love the fact of the part where he goes inside the DJ spot, bashes his face into the desk, or was it on the DJ thing? Fuck, his face was so fucked up. It reminded me of the way the guy's face looked at the gas station in the original 2018 film. His tongue is hanging out. He takes a pair of scissors, cuts the tongue off. Tongue winds up, the cut part of the tongue winds up on top of the record, and it's skipping while it's playing over the record. That was like Chef's Kiss. That was icing on the cake. I was like, okay, I live for that kill. That was an awesome kill. But other than that, I was kind of disappointed with a lot of the kills. I do not believe that. Oh yeah, I also was disappointed in Corey's mother's death scene, how they killed her off, because they basically, you heard her screaming, that was it. The stills and the shots that I have seen leading up to this film, there was a lot more added to that y'all cut. So I hope in the unrated version, because I actually have the unrated version of Halloween Kills, and in the unrated version, they actually show some of the stuff that they cut from that film, including the end, which I get why they got rid of it. Michael picks up the phone after he's killed Karen, Lori's daughter, and then you see that was another thing. It was very Friday the 13th Part 5, where it wasn't even Jason. It was a copycat. And there was elements of Scream, I noticed. The opening sequence was very Scream-esque. And the tag teaming was very Scream, where you had two killers. Now, usually with Scream always does this thing where you don't know it's two killers, but we are at this point always know it's going to be two killers because they've played it up pretty much in every damn movie. There's always been two killers, except I believe Scream 3 only had one killer, and that was her brother. I hated that whole convoluted plot. But and I always thought that was the silliest out of all of them, but I thoroughly enjoy all the Scream movies in their own way. And I have to say this, even though I had my issues with this film, as a standalone Halloween movie, I liked it. I did not like the idea that y'all forced this whole Corey Cunningham situation up in here. I felt like it was too much trying to invest in this boy for this one movie. And it was like not a lot of Michael in there. Now, I would have liked a little more Michael Myers. I would have liked to see Michael do a lot more of the killings. Y'all probably pretty much sidelined him and made Corey the new quarterback. I got some of the themes that y'all were trying to go with it, but to me, it just felt like it didn't stick the landing. And especially during the end, when it's like, if I can't have you, no one will. Then all of a sudden, they become these star-crossed lovers like y'all, Bonnie and Clyde. I just was not buying the relationship between, even though they did a phenomenal job with the acting, I was just not buying the relationship between Corey and Allison. I was not buying, okay, if I can't have you, no one will. Very Romeo and Juliet at the end, where you're stabbing yourself in the throat, and then Michael kills him, actually, because, but I didn't realize what they were trying to do. They were trying to figure out a way to get Michael to Lori and them have that epic battle. So Michael's kind of been following Corey on the low to see what he's been doing, what he's up to, where he lives, that sort of thing. He's been kind of stalking him out. So he ends up at the house because he wants the mask back. But then he's like, I ain't got no use for your ass anymore. I've regained enough of my strength where I can fight him, where I can, So he kills. So even though Corey stabs himself in the throat, they do that typical one last scare jump up. Michael ends up killing Corey. And then that, of course, gives us the epic showdown between Lori and Michael. Now, I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed that brawl, that all-out brutal brawl between these two. But it was a little short. Could have been better. I did like how she impaled him to the island, both hands. That shit freaked me out when he sliced his entire hand open just to choke her. But then Allison comes in and breaks his hand. Then they cut his throat. Then they slice his wrist. I'm like, okay, come on with the overkill. So I'm looking at this like, oh, they really about to kill Michael off this damn movie. And lo and behold, they did. But that wasn't just it. They did some shit where they tied him to the roof of the car. And it was like, we need to let the whole town know that Michael's officially dead and we could all heal as a community. Because apparently nobody in Haddonfield could afford a therapist except Laurie Strode. So they tie him to the car, parade him through the town. Then all of a sudden they untie him, crowd surf him like he's, at a concert at Lollapalooza. And then toss him in a junkyard mangler where they just literally crush him like there's nothing left. Literally turn him into chop meat. That's what it was, ground beef. That's what Michael Myers is now. Ground beef somewhere in a damn junkyard. So Michael not coming back, not in this universe. But if they decide to, look, here's the thing. The movie it is something else. It is a different movie, standalone film. I feel like, let's look, I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Halloween. I mean, they love Halloween 2018. Not a lot of people like Halloween Kills. But at the end of the day, This is a movie that stands alone by itself. I don't know. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this film. What you thought of it, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, where would you have liked to have seen them going? I really feel like at this point, there's no look. Laurie Strode ain't coming back. I was like, if I had a choice on who had the better setup, like who had the better epic showdown, was it Halloween H2O or was it Halloween Kill? I mean Halloween Ends. That's a hard one. You know what? I actually liked Halloween H2O. I like that whole setup. I kind of felt that fight sequence was short too. I wanted more, but for some reason, if I could think back 20-some odd years ago when I saw that in the theater, I was kind of satisfied with that film. I hated what they did with Resurrection, but for the most part, I was satisfied with H2O. This film, not so much. And to me, it feels like that ending, the epic showdown, was tacked on. They focused so much on Corey, y'all forgot that this movie was about Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, bringing that to a conclusion. I feel like that y'all just threw that on the, oh yeah, we supposed to make it a movie about Laurie and Michael. We can't focus too much on Corey, so let's throw it in. And that's what happened. So let me know what y'all thoughts are on this film. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you fulfilled? Were you not fulfilled? Is this one of those standalone films like Halloween Season of the Witch? Let me know. I spent a lot of time on this film. It'll be interesting to see how long I actually talked about this particular movie. But just for context, it was just a lot that went on in this film. I'm sure there were some things I missed. I'll probably have to do just a full-on spoiler breakdown, even where I would go further in and analyze the film. But we're going to have to do that another time because we got more topics to get to. And I have to say, Rohan Campbell, I've been seeing them pictures of him. He's a cutie. Definitely check out his Instagram. It's Campbell Rohan. And he's 25 and he's Canadian. He was in a bunch of stuff. He was on Once Upon a Time, Supernatural, iZombie, The 100, and Netflix's Virgin River. I've never heard of that one, but this is the first time I've actually seen him. But he's got a girlfriend, so there's that. Okay, so that was a 20-minute review, which is a lot shorter than a lot of these other reviews that I've been seeing on social media, because there's some that's a full-on hour plus. So let's move on and let's talk about The Real Housewives, Beverly Hills Child. I don't know why I closed out my notes, because that's in my notes too. So where do we start? So yeah, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 1 aired this week. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me. I told you I'm on this damn edible. So Christopher Landon came out with this story. The director of Freaky, he basically called out studios for day and date releases after Halloween Ends' box office results, saying that Christopher Landon is resurrecting the day and date release topic after initial box office results for Halloween Ends have it coming in under studio estimates. The Freaky director is calling out movie studios for releasing movies in theaters and streaming services at the same time, saying, ooh, I feel another rant coming on. Today is the day and date release strategy for Halloween Ends. Stop doing this, please. It doesn't work. Studios, stop gambling with filmmakers and their movies and try to prop up your fledgling streaming services. That's what Landon tweeted. Halloween Ends was estimated to finish off its first weekend at $55 million, with Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode potentially facing serial killer Michael Myers one final time. However, as the box office results were reported, the film is expected to only make $43.4 million in theaters. Now, Landon is attributing the underwhelming results to Universal releasing the movie to Peacock subscribers on the same day as theaters. The film director recalled that he faced a similar situation when Freaky was released in 2020. And I do remember hearing that there was a lot of people saying, like, you know what, Freaky was a good movie, but the way that the studio handled it, I believe it was HBO Max that released it, did a whole day and date thing, because I believe, it's their Universal Blumhouse, I think, is a part of that. So it might have been Peacock. I don't remember. But I do remember that there was a situation where he was upset over the fact that this film, the way it was pushed out and the way it was promoted. And it could have, and I'd say Freaky was a good movie. When I finally got to watch it, it was a good movie. The opening sequence was hilarious and scary and had me jumping. Like, it was a great ride. So if you have not seen Freaky, definitely check it out. And he says, this happened to me on Freaky and it destroys us. We've worked so hard to make a fun movie. Blood, sweat, and tears, months away from our families. And for what? They love to use the term 2 bites of the apple, but that's just another way of saying we're going to use your movie as a guinea pig for our streaming service, he added in a second tweet. Lena continued, sorry, I'm begging the studio not to do that. Either circle the wagons and protect it for theatrical or just go to jail. Just go all in on streaming. Don't split hairs. At least the Halloween folks were made whole. We got hosed. So yeah, bitter subject, PTSD. He ended his rant by directing a note to the studios asking them to stop trying to suck 2 dicks at the same time. Honor the sanctity of the theatrical experience. I'm trying to suck 2 dicks at the same time. Yeah, I know a lot of people that can do that. But I definitely get what Christopher Lambert is implying, because I totally get it. You work so hard on these movies and only for you to want to play guinea pig with all these films. It's like with Hulu. Hulu intentionally, and from the beginning, did Prey, which is a prequel to the other film. It was like, you know what, we're gonna make this. We're a prequel to Predator. We're gonna make this specifically for the streaming service. Huge hit for them. Hellraiser. We're gonna make this specifically for the streaming service. The whole day and date thing, while I do get it, it doesn't work. Because all this potential money that you're estimating to make, people feel like they don't need to go to the movies. Quiet as it's kept, the theater experience is changing now between the size of the TVs, the surround sound, and everything else that goes along with it. Nobody wants to bank on going to the movies anymore. A lot of people rather sit at home and watch a movie. If you gotta go to the bathroom, you can pause it. There's certain movies I will go to the movies to see. Any superhero movie, like I told you, I got my Black Adam tickets. I got my Black Panther tickets. I'm gonna see it a week later. Then when it comes out, so I'm gonna avoid all the spoilers. But for the most part, when it's an event film, I'm gonna go. When Scream 6 comes out, I'm definitely going to the movies to see that. I'm not waiting until that comes out on a streaming service, on cable, whatever, because if I don't, you have us going to spoil who the damn killer is in this damn movie. So I have to go to the theater opening weekend to see it, like I saw the last one and all the other ones before, so that way I know who the killer is and y'all don't spoil it for me on social media. So there's certain event films that I will go for. Halloween Ends, I definitely wanted to go. However, Halloween, the 2018 one, I went to the theater to see it, and my experience was ruined by a bunch of assholes making a fucking bunch of noise when I was watching it. So I was like, you know what? I feel better if I sit in my house and watch it. I'm still paying for it, not as much as regular people we paying to go see it in the theater, but I get, they have the 45-day thing with Paramount, which we all know Tom Cruise fought them on when they wanted to do that with Top Gun Maverick. And they were talking about doing it for his new Mission Impossible movie that he's been working on. I think they're done with part 2 of, what's it called? Dead Reckoning. So he fought them, and he was like going to get his lawyers involved, but Tom Cruise owns Paramount. So at this point, so they're going to do what he says. And he was correct. He's one of the rare producers that can do whatever he wants, and y'all can't tell him shit. Because the numbers don't lie. So good luck, y'all. I don't know what to say about this whole day and date thing. You would think that Peacock would have learned their lesson from HBO Max. They took a huge L on the whole day and date last year. Lost so much money to the point where they had to fire the guy. They brought a new guy in. And we're going to get into HBO Max and their shenanigans because Issa Rae that has some shit to say about them and what they doing over there with Ezra Miller. So we're going to talk about that later on, but let's get into this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. Excuse me. So first, let's talk about the fashions. The fashions were a mess. This definitely got me talking. I got a lot of information to get out. So the fashions was a mess. I did not think any of them girls stood out to me with the fashions. Even Dorit with her extraness where, she always got to come with some crazy Queen Amidala hairstyle. She wasn't given what needed to be given in that damn finale, in that reunion either. None of the dresses stood out. None of the hairdos stood out. And y'all just look like a bunch of regular chicks doing y'all first season of the Housewives. That's what y'all fashion was giving me. I did like the idea of them having Jamie Lee Curtis pop up because, and I know some people are like, well, why was Jamie Lee Curtis there? Was it because she was on one of the episodes, with the charity and, she knows Kyle Richards. They've known each other since, Kyle was a kid and Jamie was in her 20s and Kyle was like, what, a baby when she played Kyle Richards' babysitter technically she ended up babysitting Kyle. She was Tommy Doyle's babysitter, but she ended up because Annie wanted to be a hoe and pick up her boyfriend. So she left Kyle character, Lindsay, with, y'all know the whole story. Y'all done seen the original Halloween at this point. So she basically, they've known each other since, Methuselah. Since before speech replaced sound language. That's how long them two knew each other. So it made sense she came on, she used her show as a way to promote her her charity. So Jamie Lee Curtis stopped by this and the third. It was cute. I know people was like, well, why was she there? First of all, Bravo is owned by Universal. Halloween Ends is produced by Universal. So therefore, cross-promotion. Network. The whole Dorit PTSD after the home invasion. First of all, okay. Is it wrong for me to say that I don't believe that whole storyline? Because I don't. Number one, I've never heard of a robber ever. Oh, I had to beg him, please don't kill me and my babies. Well, fake British accent. Talking about she had to beg him so I could call my husband. Can you leave my phone? So when they left with all the stuff, they left the phone by the front door. What robber gonna leave you your damn phone so you could call the cops on them? Like, child, bye. Nobody believed that story. And I damn sure didn't believe when Kyle went and said that the robbers, the same ones that apparently robbed Dorit, because they live right around the corner. Oh, no, I'm gonna talk about Guy Ritchie and no, we're gonna talk about Diana Jenkins. We're gonna get to that bitch. Because she denied they brought that up on the reunion. And she denied she said that her and Guy Ritchie and Justin Timberlake are friends. Bitch, you fucked them both. Stop it. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. I'm not gonna jump the boom boom gun yet. So I did not believe Dorit with that storyline and the whole thing. I think, like a lot of these girls, Fraudrick too, I do not believe y'all were robbed. I believe y'all are trying to do this shit as some sort of insurance scam. So that's what I believe. And that's my belief. That is my thoughts. It's my opinion. Hence, the heading that we played in the beginning of the show. And we're going to play it again later on. Because y'all be trying it with these damn content creators. We can't have a damn opinion about shit. So I did not believe the home invasion. How, when her extra ass talking about that that the robbers called her and said, we got y'all stuff, we have your stuff, we need to sell your stuff, we got it in the attic and we want you to buy it back. And she sent them some of the money instead of calling the cops. Girl, who believes that? Even Erica Girardi, the queen of not wanting to return shit that don't belong to her, had to give her the side eye during that segment. She said that's a shakedown. No, it's a damn lie. Even Maury could see through that bullshit. But then Crystal non-storyline having ass talking about some damn really dark comments about Sutton. Here's the thing. I don't think what Sutton said was that bad. She said that she was out and she looked in the pool and her daughter was with a white person, her daughter being white, and it was a black kid and an Asian kid. They was in the jacuzzi together. She was like, this is great, this and the third. Crystal said she found that problematic. First of all, I'm not listening to no Asian girl that's not even comfortable in her own skin to want to be Asian, try to talk about Black Lives Matter or anything racist or colorist when she don't even like who she is. You feel like you talk about when I was a kid, I wanted to be white. You married a whole white man. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being, getting down with the swirl or wanting to intermingle with other races. Nothing wrong with that. as long as you're not trying to sell out your own race to do so, or thinking that because you marry somebody white, that's going to get me some sort of whatever. I get to be part of, I get to belong, I get to be a part of the elite. You know how some of y'all get. Y'all forget what race y'all are. You know, y'all bypass, you know, you look past or don't want any part of your own race if it's going to elevate you some sort of way. You could ask Coon this about it. You could damn sure ask Kanye. Throw your own race under the sun. Oh, what the hell is that? Mm-hmm. So that whole dark comment, like, that was mad confusing. I didn't get the whole thing. I don't think Crystal said anything that bad. I mean, I don't think Sutton said anything that bad. So, but I think Crystal was looking for a moment. She wanted a camera time and it backfired. But then what I didn't understand is that you talking about that requesting Michael Jackson is problematic. Really? Because I was watching the whole show with my face looking like this. Because y'all just sounded real dumb with a lot. There was just a lot of lies that was being spread on this show between a lot of you women. Like, a lot of y'all were not, in Lisa Rinna's words, owning it when y'all was saying things. The one good thing that Lisa Rinna said on that show. So when she said that requesting Michael Jackson is problematic, I was like, how is that problematic? Because of the this that Gen Z millennial bullshit what I'm about to bring up. So apparently we can't request Michael Jackson because he was accused of molesting children, that he actually beat all the charges. Well, Kathy Hilton, Robert says, I'm surprised Kathy Hilton didn't come to her best friend's defense. Wait, who's her best friend? Kathy Hilton didn't show up in the first episode yet. She's coming next week. This whole episode was about Dorit and her non-existent storyline. This is also about Sutton and the whole Crystal situation, and Garcelle with Diana and the bots and the racist comments thrown towards her son, which we're about to get into right now. Oh yeah, Michael Jackson and Kathy is close. The thing was, because she requested, the whole fight happened with Aspen is because a lot of people said, okay, she requested Michael Jackson at the club or the bar. Exactly. The FBI investigated for 10 years and didn't find anything. So Crystal said, what she said, girl, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, you have nothing to offer to the show. Still don't. I think they need to make her a friend of at this point. Well, I'm going to give y'all my list of who I think should come back and who should be demoted and who should be fired. So, but then she also went and said, because Diana went after, black bloggers, Diana Jenkins, Sanella, as we call, or as I like to call her, lip licker, the madam, who came out with Room 23, where she had them hookers and stuff up in there. She came out and said, she couldn't, first of all, she said she couldn't be there because she's sick. Never in the history of me watching a show that somebody's via satellite and they sick, but they got enough energy to talk. Because apparently she had COVID. But if you have COVID, that's a respiratory infection. That's a respiratory disease. You got enough lung power in your body to defend yourself and talk and put on a thick accent when you want to act like you don't understand English? She wasn't sick. She did not want to face that firing squad. That's what that was. And the fact of the matter is that Bravo let her get away with that. That's another thing that irritates me about what Bravo is. Y'all allow these housewives to dictate and control your show and say what could be talked about, what couldn't be talked about. So I did love the fact that Andy Cole, even though, girl, I'm still gonna keep my knee on your dad, because I feel like you don't really go in and let have on those women, because I feel like he wants to be the queen of the housewives so bad. You should have seen him in the videos that I've seen all over social media this weekend of him at BravoCon. Like, he's the ringleader of the Ringling Brothers. The ringleader of the circus. But I also didn't like how Crystal basically defended Diana during her racist comment. Saying that, it was a language barrier. But I'm going to tell you what the bitch said, because she said, I'm screaming, you heard Andy is a bottom to college boys? Anyway. So Diana, was sending cease and desist to anyone questioning her past. So if anybody who said anything about Room 23, that book that only made like one little run and then was gone, Because, you know, she said it was sold out. Child, if the shit was sold out, they'd print more copies. The book was a flop. And the Madam accusations, which was public knowledge. I even believe that Robert Downey Jr. spilled that tea years ago. I think back in his, you know, drug using days. They also asked her how come she was in a photo with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She said this was during her refugee days. Because, you know, she's from, I think, Bosnia. But quiet as it's kept, don't they usually use refugees as hookers? Like, isn't that like part of sex trafficking? Like, y'all use a lot of, you know, girls from these foreign countries, low income. You take them, you traffic them, you dope them up to the point where they become the Ghislaine Maxwells. So apparently we're not allowed because, you know, I see this dizzy broad don't seem to realize when you pop up on a reality show, the main goal about a reality show, we supposed to get in your business. Who is this chick and what is she about? So when we start talking about this girl, they started to do the investigations and this, that, and the third, and your past come up. And these are genuine questions that people ask. We've seen it happen time and time again when we watch reality shows. But apparently we can't ask no questions to Diana Jenkins. Otherwise, you get a cease and desist. And she said the nerve, she can't believe there are Black content creators out there trolling us. This is what she said to Link. Oh, I was going to say to Ling. To Crystal. This is what she says to Crystal. And she was like, oh, it was a language. I don't know damn language barrier. It was racist. She don't like the fact that there was Black bloggers, like particularly Philly Diva, who she came down on, questioning her past. And you Black doing it? And that's how I know the heifer racist, because the way she was coming at Garcelle on that episode, I felt the racism. And also, I believe that whole thing with Diana pledging money to Tom Girardi's victims. I do believe that was a checkbait move. That was not because she was trying to help either kind of Sahara. I think it was a PR stunt. When quiet as it's kept, I heard that had to do with, you know, that the victims were already paid. So let's talk about those racist bots against Garcelle's son, Jax. Now, what I did not know was that someone sent Jax nude photos of his mother, because apparently she did a Playboy spread. They sent him photos of his mother naked, which is disgusting. He was at his father's house at the time. His father's white, by the way. Sent also a message, if your dad wasn't white, we would have our knee on your neck. And I said, dear Garcelle, next time you go on national television, why don't you educate viewers on how many times I went to Haiti, your home country. This is what Diana sent Garcelle. Now that don't sound racist to you? Oh, because I went and donated money to Haiti, you should be grateful that I sent you this coin. So there was a lot of that. And you know what really pissed me off too? I literally screamed on my TV, shut the fuck up, Kyle. I literally screamed that. Because this bitch had the nerve to assert herself in some shit that had nothing to do with her when she went and said, because apparently when they sent the post and they said something, they were threatening Jackson, Diana's name was in it, yo, you need to leave Diana Jenkins alone, so on and so forth. What Diana took from it and what's the name, piggybacked. What the hell's her name? Kyle piggyback saying that, oh, you could have posted it, but what he should have did was scratch out Diana's name because I'm being threatened in my family, this and that. I said, wait a minute. This boy is 14 years old. 14 years old. He's getting threatening messages from bots that I believe Diana paid for. I believe Lisa Rinna knew about it. She's in on it too. Try to act like she's not. And I believe Dorit knows about it. And I do also believe that Erica's in on it. You know, the dizzy bitches of Beverly Hills. All 5 of them. Kyle too. And I hope they bring up in the next episode Kyle and them laughing at the fact that Erica cursed at Jax in another scene. They better bring that shit up. And the one thing I love about Garcelle is that, you know, and it's unfortunate. They were like, oh, she's a class act. She didn't go in and she didn't really get nasty, whatever. She can't do that. Because she's a black woman on TV. You can't pop off a certain way. Because remember, Andy Cohen said, this isn't Love and Hip Hop. This isn't the Bad Girls Club. But you throwing shade at black shows. Meanwhile, your biggest cash cow, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all are acting real ghetto. So for you to sit up here and try to act like your show is far superior than Love and Hip Hop and all these other shows, that's some BS. Okay, so, as far as the nude photos, imagine what Madonna will have to hide when her son got those photos. Disgusting or not, she shouldn't explain to him the art of nudity. If it's Penthouse, then we have a problem. Penthouse is Vanessa Williams. But which I heard she's doing a movie or a documentary or something based on the whole that played Penthouse spread. I need to get more information on that. But yeah, so to wrap this up, because it's gonna be a whole lot, and I can't wait till his mama's, Kathy comes in next week, because I heard they were like, oh, and we also got to talk about Lisa Rinna got booed at BravoCon when she came out. Hilarious. She tried to say she wasn't upset about it, and she compared herself to a wrestler. She said it felt like being like The Rock. First of all, I don't think The Rock ever got booed. I don't even think people got booed from wrestling and was like, bring it on. Like, do they really do that at wrestling matches? Like, I need my wrestling people to get on this. Lisa Rinna was just full of shit. She was trying to save face because she looked like the fool. And number one, you're not The Rock. First of all, The Rock is one of the most beloved movie stars in Hollywood. But according to Kathy, and I agree wholeheartedly, you are the biggest bully in Hollywood. So if you want an accolade, there it is. So before we go to take a little short break, because we got to talk about Nicki Minaj, we got to talk about Cardi B, we got to talk about Issa Rae, and we got to talk about Fraudrick. So who I want going? I want Anna going, definitely. She is a one-season hoe. First of all, you didn't bring nothing this season. If you're going to start sending out cease and desist to anybody that asks you any kind of question, you think you're just going to be on the sidelines and pick fights with Sutton? That's not enough for me. You were a polarizer. Nobody likes you. You need to go. So if you're going to do that, that's a red flag. We don't need you back on the show. Bye, bitch. You and your little American Idol singing husband who nobody cares about his music. Lisa Rinna needs to go too, but I don't think Lisa's going to go anywhere. I think Lisa needs to be demoted. Friend of. Crystal also needs to be a friend of. She brings nothing to the show. Now, who do I want to come back? I want Lisa Vanderpump coming back to the show. First of all, we already know the thing about Lisa likes to LR, likes to run people off of, because that's what Kathy Hilton actually called her when she did an interview, I think yesterday, with I think it was Access Hollywood. She refers to her as LR, which is the ultimate shade. So I would love to see LVP come back. I would like to see Denise Richards too, but if she's gonna do that Bravo, effing Bravo crap again, keep her ass over there where she's at with that husband of hers. He's cute, by the way. Is she still in the Bold and the Beautiful? I do think they need to bring, I forgot Camille's last name because I know she's married. She's married now, and she threw some shade at Kyle on Twitter. So I need them to come back. I need Camille Grammy back on the show because apparently she don't like her. And Brandy Glanville, I lived for her when she was on Ultimate Girl Trip, the one where she was at the Berserkers with Dorinda. I need Brandy back on the show. I love Brandy. She brings Bessie. I also heard rumblings that they're trying to get Kimora Lee Simmons to come on the show. Now, if they can get Kimora, and you know her messy past in Hollywood and all the men she ran through and got married and had babies with, I think she would be a good fit. Maybe they could give Cherie some more time on the show, but she ain't really been bringing it this season. So, yeah, so those are the ones I want on the show. And also, I heard that Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane were dropped by their publicists. And the Cancer Institute slammed Lisa because Lisa had the nerve to come out and say, what did she say? Oh, she said that, if I don't tell y'all what happened in Aspen and all those, if I hold it in, I'm going to get cancer. Now, girl, when I heard her say that, I'm like, bitch, did you really fix your baboon asshole size lips to say that shit, and she did. So what I didn't know, because the gag is that she and Erica were dropped because Lisa shares a publicist with Paris Hilton, and Erica shares a publicist with Nicki Hilton. So who you think is seniority? Because y'all throwing publicists and stuff under the bus. Who you think they're gonna side with? Kathy's money is long. She is a Hilton. That money is long on her. That's old money. So they take resident over, all the other stuff. So yeah, we talked about that. And then you know what? I feel for Sutton because Sutton said that Garcelle she apologized publicly for not giving Garcelle a lot more support at the reunion because Garcelle was kind of like just taking a lot of jabs from a lot of the women, and Sutton sat there. Meanwhile, we did see throughout the season that Garcelle was very Team Sutton. Garcelle would always come to Sutton's defense, but I get it. It was like, Garcelle held her own, but I get that, Sutton is a genuine friend that she actually did that. So, yeah, so let's wrap this up because there's been a lot of reviews today. And this edible got me rambling. Well, not rambling, but it's rambling in a good way because y'all getting some jewels and some tea. The show is messy. So we come back, we're going to break down this Nicki Minaj Latto drama. Sure. We're going to talk about Tasha K is ordered to pay that $4 billion that she's trying not to pay. That whole little stunt she pulled at Chase Bank. Issa Rae is calling out Warner Brothers for continuing to protect Flash star Ezra Miller. Because they spent $300 million on that movie. That's a huge investment. And Fraudrick Hall is clapping back at the haters who've been criticizing him over a lot of the stuff that's been coming out in the news. He said he's atoned for his sins and he's, done all that other child. We're going to see. Now, has he really learned his lesson? Has he done what needs to be done? We're going to break that all down. So let's take this break and we'll be right back. A little short break. We'll be right back with more of the rundown with moi, Chris Avalon. And thank you all who's tuning in the live. Appreciate it.
you like that, bro? Fucking lost your mind? Fuck.
Is that $1,000 bitch from the house of Avalon? The Pia, yes, the Pia, yes, the Pia, yes, the Pia. Fight on the Bible, fight on the Ezra, fight on the stuff.
Definitely ready to get what's the game, and my hair will be given rock the boat, change positions, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you don't keep your word, you create negative space.
Yeah, because Jesus whispers in my ear the things he wants me to say, and I say it out loud.
Like Joan of Arc.
Like nigger.
Exactly. Like everything. You can just say, Jesus made me say it, and Jesus made me do it.
Yeah, because he did. And what WD-40? No, not WD-40. That's why I use on my wheelchair. WWJD. What would Jesus do?
Do you have T-shirts to say that?
I do.
I think you should have them, and with your picture on them.
You know what you're
I think they'd be a big seller.
WWTJD. What would Terry Joe do?
Who's Terry Joe?
Huh?
Who's Terry Joe?
Or you about to say, who's Terry Joe?
Oh, should I not know? Should I know? Who's Terry Joe? Oh, you're Terry Joe. Oh my God.
You're literally speaking to her.
I'm sorry. I just know your stage name.
If I was 80 years old too, I would be forgetting people's names too.
Well, then you understand.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
Child, show is a mess. Ooh, okay. Hi, everybody. We're back. So I want to give a quick shout out to Nakia Zulu, who was loading it down at the Rumble Bowl. That's what y'all saw in the commercial. And Miss Terry in that Madonna interview, what the hell? That was a mess. And Miss Terry reading her said, you know, if I was 80 years old, I'd be forgetful too. That was funny. What is going on, Madonna? You know, I live for the fact that she just being messy and she just she gives no fucks. Everybody else be worried about their image and stuff, but not her. So anyway, shout out to Kato Palmer who said, I'm loving the podcast, funny, interacting, good and funny perspective. Well, that was the goal while I did the show. Thank you for noticing. Okay, so now let's get into some things, as in this whole Nicki Minaj Latto drama. So apparently this week it happens to be just another day, another female rap beef. So now Nicki apparently has a bone to pick with Latto, who she feels should have come to her defense following the latest Grammy nomination news. Now before we get to the series of tweets, here's a little context. Now the Hollywood Reporter did an exclusive report revealing that back in August, Nicki Minaj submitted her hit single Super Freaky Girl for the rap category, but was told this week that it will compete in the pop category. So instead of just being happy to be nominated and taking her frustration out on the Recording Academy's rap committee, who are the ones who came up with this decision, by the way, not Latto, she decided to drag Latto into the conversation. So here's what she said in her tweet. She said, I have no problem being moved out of the rap category, as long as we are all being treated fairly. If SFG had to be moved out of rap, then so does Big Energy. Anyone who says they're simply a Nicki hater or a troll. I'd actually love to see a more street record when male or female. I'm just saying, right is right. Well, when I listened to Super Freaky Girl, because someone actually said this. She actually retweeted. Someone said literally Latto herself has even called it pop on multiple occasions. Just make it fair. And someone also posted, Anaconda was nominated for rap song. Wouldn't you say that SMG and Anaconda are sonically similar? So what changed? Here's the thing with that. SMG and Anaconda are similar in the way she raps the lyrics. Like if you really listen to it, it does sound similar. Even like how her flow is. Excuse me. Only difference is, I was being slowed down. It's probably a little delay or something. I don't know. Only difference is that Anaconda, she was rapping on it. When I listened to this new song, she's doing a lot of singing. There's a couple of rapping on it, but it's singing. My thing is this, quiet as it's kept, I do believe that Anaconda and Super Freaky Girl are both pop songs. But my thing is, why are you dragging Latto into the conversation? You should have literally just taken this as a situation of, I'm upset with the committee and I need to talk to them and deal with them about what my gripe is, because it's the committee. These are your peers. When you watch the Grammys, I think the Grammys is similar with the Oscars, which is a lot of the people who work on behind the scenes are the ones who vote. They're your peers. This is not the VMAs where the Barbs decide that they want to give you your award. That's not how that works. It's people who you work with are the ones who vote for you. My thing is this also, why are we complaining about a nomination that hasn't been announced yet? Because don't the nominations come out in November? So you're bitching about an email you probably got from the committee who were telling you this. You decided to post it on social media because the nominations haven't even come out for the Grammys yet. You just submitted the song. They probably are. There's words that, you know what I was going to say too? Because I'm glad you brought this up, because when you brought this up, I actually had that same theory. The rundown is actually covering up. What was I going to say? So, what was I going to say? So I also think when you look back at the music video gives me very much Candyland, very Katy Perry, very, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world tease. Like I was getting kind of that. It's very colorful, it's very campy, very, a lot of that. So that probably plays into it. And when I listen to that song, it is technically a pop song. Now, I will say this. When the nominations come out, they got her going up. They got her up against like a Taylor Swift or any of the other white girls who are singing. Then I'm going to look at y'all side-eyed because I'm like, okay, what's going on? But what I really think the real tea is, the Grammys have not been that excited over Nicki Minaj in a long time. I feel that this is some slick shit they're trying to do, some sabotage. Why does this kept? I always felt that the Grammys have never really supported hip hop. Ever. Y'all may throw a bone here and there, But I don't really feel like that the Grammys have officially or really supported hip hop artists. We've heard these complaints over the years. Y'all had Jay-Z sit in that audience with them 8 nominations, didn't walk away with 1. We already saw that Drake and Silk Sonic, all this came out this week. Drake, Silk Sonic, and The Weeknd have not submitted any of their music, refusing to submit it to the Grammy committee. So there's a lot of that. Didn't they have a situation where Beyonce was supposed to get Album of the Year and y'all set her up to get taken out by Adele? And we all know that Adele, listen to her like watching paint dry, in my opinion. Yes, great voice, but her music is boring. I said what I said. I find Adele boring. That is music. That is shit you play in an elevator on your way up to the mall in Macy's. That's Adele's music. But y'all want to continue to overlook Beyonce. So anyway, yeah, we got this series of tweets and stuff popping up. This was the one that really got me, when she said, "We see everything, trust. It's clear as day. Do you think I got to where I am by not peeping everything? Do you think I don't know when every release schedule at the end of every record label? Did you think I don't know how many things move up on the list as soon as I say I'm about to do something?" So Nicki definitely knows how to play the game and all that other shit. We're gonna go to these audio clips, and then I'll come back with my full opinion, including those back and forth tweets. If y'all want to read the tweets, y'all can definitely go to my website because it's a lot, but I just want to give my overall thoughts on this whole situation. Roll the clip.
I've done nothing to you. Yeah, you are. It's delusional to say that other girls are flourishing. It's delusional to say that other girls are flourishing. Recognize we weren't giving the platforms that we're being given right now. And I give you props all the time in every other interview for opening the door for that to be a possibility now.
You want to say about, let's let you finish your statement about what female rappers were doing before and what they're doing now. I want you to finish it.
I finished it, Nicki.
Okay.
I said for a long time it was you.
It was me.
Yes,
so
your
you didn't do your research. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have somebody send you the information about all the women in the last 10 years who have had Billboard recognition, worldwide global recognition, since you are clearly putting yourself above these people.
No, I'm not. That's the purpose I can't even think of the word, like just purposely trying not to understand what I'm saying.
You don't even understand what you're saying because
no, I know exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it was you running shit for a long time. I never said that you're no longer running shit. I said
we'll get to that other Nicki clip in a minute, but let me just get this out before I lose my train of thought, because this edible is giving what needs to be given. So here's the thing. No one can take away the accolades that Nicki Minaj has had. She has definitely done a lot since Little Kim. Speaking of Little Kim, y'all definitely need to check out that video that I got on my Instagram at @Avalon, where I posted an old video that she did. This is during her Pink Friday era, where she got that little half a wig. What is it? Like it's short in the back and it's like on the sides. They got the little different shades of color. Y'all know the wig. The rainbow bright wig. Anyway, so she's sitting, this is back when Angie Martinez worked at Hot 97, and she was talking about, everything was good with her and Kim, and you know, you get your props and you get your homages and your accolades, and I've respected you in this, that, and the other, and then now it looks like you're bitter and this, that, and the other. And I was watching the video, I'm like, this is all foreshadowing, because all the stuff you was trying to throw, some little jabs that you was throwing at Little Kim at that time, now the shoe is on the other foot, and you expect these other girls to just bend the knee because you are, as you say, the queen. It's giving insecurity. This whole situation is giving insecurity. It's like, girl, you've made so many strides and accolades. Whatever these little games that they playing with you behind the scenes, you need to take it up with them. But you also need to look at it as, why are these people treating you this way? Is it because you're problematic and toxic, as Kano is saying in the comments? That you're shady behind the scenes, and when you're dealing with a lot of these people, these same people that you've been shading and you've been, you know, being nasty towards, they're the ones who hold your fate in your hands in regards to what awards you're gonna win, what awards you're gonna go up for, what categories you're gonna go for. This is politics. It's like when I tell people about, you know, people are like, well, how come Cardi B won a Grammy? And yeah, I do agree. Cardi B is not the best rapper. She's not on the same level as a Nicki Minaj lyrically. But she got that Grammy over Nicki out of spite, because Cardi B's easy to work with. Cardi B is a nice girl. She's willing to play the game. A lot of people who are willing to play the game, you'll get farther, unfortunately. That's the way this business is. It's nasty, it's disgusting, it's shady, everybody's out for themselves. So when I try to tell people this stuff, it's not coming across as a hater. I'm just giving y'all the politics of this industry. It's literally like running for president. You got to kiss a lot of babies and a lot of ass and shake a lot of hands to get anything in this business. But like I've been saying, I don't know why black folk, rappers, and then people, y'all work so hard to get these recognition and accolades. I get it, because it's the biggest, the highest prestigious award. But y'all be the same ones that won't show up to the Soul Train Awards and won't show up to the BET Awards. But y'all fighting for a damn Grammy. So my thing is this: let's wait until the official nominees comes out, and we'll see who Nicki Minaj is up against, if she even gets a nomination at this point. Because that lashing out, they're gonna look at her like, okay, we're gonna spite this bitch again. Let's not even nominate her. Let's not even let it be. She could submit it, but let's not even give her the opportunity to even have this song in the category. Because I know she's mad that these other girls have gotten Grammys over her. And whatever reason for Cardi getting the award, because people behind the scenes in the Grammy committee want to be spiteful and they want to throw a dagger at you because they know it soothes her, like sees her soul. Because of these other, we'll give an award over you. And you know what? The Grammys is loving this shit, because why does the Grammys be boring? So there was one person that tweeted this. They said she idolized Little Kim for the start of her career, but could never respectfully give Kim her flowers, only backhanded compliments. Now she wants praise and respect from the new girls. That's not how any of this works, Nicki Minaj. The truth finally reveals itself. And you know they have hashtag apologize to Little Kim trending. They got 40-year-old bully trending. They got, super freaky grandma. That shit had me cackling. That, and Nicki Minaj did have me cackling with a couple of these tweets though, because you know they was going in. Like, Latto did say that she hit her up privately, but then Nicki decided to take it publicly. And so she was like, well, now I'm gonna take it public. She said, first of all, I text you because I didn't want to do the internet-ish with someone I looked up to. Just like the first time I DM'd you asking about your ongoing subtweets. I want to speak up because, like I said, I do agree, but the way you going about it seems malicious, especially after how we left off. Because, you know, they both was throwing subliminals. Even down to the part where we saw It's Giving Coke trending on social media a couple of weeks ago, because I was even jumping up on that and cackling. And she said she's been, ignoring countless subtweets since March. She even went there and brought Ken and Petty and her brother, calling them the R word. And then she was like, Nicki called her a Karen. There was a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, so it goes on and on and on. The article is on my ChrisAvalon.com website. So if y'all definitely want to read those, you can go ahead and read that. And yeah, her album didn't do all that well, sold 20,000 copies. But look, it is something. Records ain't selling anymore. How much did Renaissance do? I don't think that was a big hit. We was all talking about it. It was trending. But I don't think Renaissance did well. Here's the thing. Nobody's buying music anymore. Everybody knows the real coin comes in through touring and merch. Not no damn records. You'll go broke relying on a damn album sale. So yeah, I know this is gonna go on and on. I just really feel like, you know what, Nicki, you've tarnished your legacy at this point because you're constantly fighting with the girls. I've noticed that some barbs that I've seen who have been like, you know what, at this point, there comes a point in time where you got to take responsibility for the things that you do. We can't keep defending you and your BS. I saw one girl on social media, I think Robert tagged me in it. She was like, with a whole plate of be eating and chewing and snack. Like, can y'all just like wait till y'all done filming? I know it looked cute for the camera, but you look stupid. Besides that, the girl was like, you know what? At some point, you know, some Matrix, and they starting to see what we've been saying for the longest. At some point, you got to be able to look at yourself and realize you are the problem. It's like y'all been drinking Jim Jones Kool-Aid for so long, but you know what? Better late than never, I guess. I couldn't even get out the damn phrase. So yeah, I don't know. Let's get to the funny video clips because at this point, like this edible child. Yeah, I told her that California got some good shit. I miss. Let's roll this clip, child.
Two women who've inspired me with their character, strength, and of course, man stealer. Sup, loser? Their class.
Don't ask. Is there a chance? No. Girl. No. Don't ask.
Sis, you gotta give the internet a break. And go hug the baby. Go do some mom stuff. Like, where's Nicki Minaj's mom blog? I'd be interested. Like, what does Papa Bear eat in a day? Chicken bones. That would be like an excellent pivot for you, sis. Like, stop like writing female rap dick and just make a mom blog. Mommy blogger.
So I'm wondering, sidebar, is that clip, because I know that was the reason why, is that what got her kicked off Instagram? I need to find out more tea on what got her kicked off Instagram, because she's literally been chopped. Like, she's not on there, so I need to follow the TikTok. Because you know my messy ass, I do like finding funny clips and shady clips, and I'll be posting it. But I do that to provoke thought. It's not just to be, I mean, there might be a little pettiness thrown up in there, but for the most part, it's to get you bitches thinking and feeling like, I mean, want to pick your brains and see what y'all thinking. So that's usually why I do it. Okay, sidebar. You know what? Another sidebar. What I will be talking about, because, you know, American Horror Story is coming out this Wednesday. So that's definitely a topic that I'm going to actually talk about. It's going to be the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 2 reunion. We definitely got to talk about American Horror Story NYC, because now I got a little more inside tea where apparently, and I had this feeling that was going to be the behind the scenes situation, well, the story. Because remember, they were talking about it was going to be about a bunch of LGBT people and a serial killer stalking them and that sort of thing. But the word on the curb is, and I knew it when I heard about it, I was like, I don't know if they're going to really go there. Apparently, they take inspiration from the movie Cruising, which starred Al Pacino, where he was a cop that went undercover to find, there was a serial killer that was going around killing gay men. So I was like, that reminded me of cruising, but I didn't think they were gonna kind of go there and really, use that as an influence. Apparently they are. So we need to talk about that and see, like, okay, is this gonna be another situation like Dahmer? Because there seems to be an obsession with Ryan Murphy and gay serial killers. Like, this is what he's on this trip lately. So we got to talk about that. And I definitely wanted to bring up, because I did this article a couple of days ago, the mother of Tony Hughes, the deaf character in, well, he was the character, was a real person, but the deaf guy who was in Dahmer, that was one of his victims. The mother spoke out against the series, calling it inaccurate. Like, we talked about that before, but I wanted to follow up with that child. So we're going to talk about that next week. But let's get to this topic. So the judge has ordered, Judge William Ray has ordered Tasha K to pay Cardi B $4 million following defamatory claims she made towards the rapper. Now, according to Billboard, it said that months after the superstar rapper tweeted, "Bitch better have my money," Judge William Ray ruled on Thursday that gossip blogger Tasha K, who made salacious claims about Cardi, must either immediately pay her an almost $4 million defamation verdict or secure a bond covering the entire amount. With the blogger seeking to pause the huge judgment while she appeals it, Judge Ray said he would only do so if she can post a so-called supersedes bond covering the entire amount. If Tasha, real name Natasha Kibi, loses her appeal, the money will then be automatically handed to Cardi. Now, issued by private lenders, such bonds allow a losing litigant to delay paying a full judgment while they appeal, but they typically require large upfront deposits and property collateral to cover an eventual payment in the event that the appeal is unsuccessful. Now, Cardi's lawyers asked for the bond last month, citing Tasha's own public statements like the suggestion she had perhaps moved to Africa, which I do believe that she took some of that money and put it in some banks over, excuse me, in Africa. She was doing some stuff. She was doing some old Nigerian, scam, something or another. They said they were worried she might use the delay caused by the appeal to avoid paying entirely. And remember, she also did the thing where she came out of Chase Bank with the little blank check. It was somebody do something, she'll donate money. I don't remember exactly what it was. I was just looking at her like, girl, you look like a whole fool right now with this whole blank check, putting on how many times do I had to rehearse that scene for it to even come across half as funny and convincing? And do I feel sorry for Tasha K? I do not. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't feel sorry for her because she had many opportunities to take down the video. She had many opportunities to comply. A lot of it was lies. Some of the stuff she said, I'm not going to repeat on here because the last time I told y'all the list of stuff she did, I was literally muted by YouTube. So I'm not going to go there. Y'all can Google, schmoogle, you can look it up. It's out there, all the lies and stuff that Tasha said. Cardi asked her, I believe she said she wouldn't pay her to take it down. She was just being malicious and bitter because, Tasha was team Nicki at the time. But where your girl at now? She not bailing you out. She busy fighting with Latto. And the week before, you had Nicki's minions fighting with a bunch of other, all fighting with Cardi. All of them was on that Super Freaky Girl remix. But meanwhile, Nicki didn't even bring y'all on stage at Rolling Loud and didn't even come out with a remix video. So, which means Tasha will owe the government and will change her judgment to a crime. One can only hope. Look, at this point, Cardi about to unwind with Tasha K at this point. Because any money you make from that show or anything that you're doing, and it's gonna literally go to, and I'm looking at this like this instant fame, the way y'all just be going in on celebrities and saying malicious stuff out of spite, not even coming on like a lot of us who work hard. Like when I do this show, besides production working hard on their end, I'm over here gathering all the information, writing the articles, and also I have to say, sidebar, I appreciate a lot of y'all who send me things on social media. A lot of y'all send me stuff that help a lot with a lot of the, the trending topics and stuff, because I'm mostly on Facebook posting a lot of stuff because there's that easy interaction where I can get a lot of people to comment on stuff. Whereas Twitter, it only allows you to say so much. Instagram is, I could take a leave Instagram really, but Facebook, I just feel like I can interact more. So that's why I'm mostly on there, always posting things and saying things. You know, it's an easier way to interact. So a lot of us as bloggers, as social media influencers, are people who love doing this stuff, like reporting the pop culture news and all stuff. Like I've been doing this for almost 2 decades, child. Almost. In many different forms. But I've had many iterations of my blog. Back in the day when we was doing Blogspot. Now, oh my shit. But it's like, you have influencers out here and bloggers who are trying to go the troll route because it gets them that instant fame. It gets them those instant numbers. It gets them that notoriety. But is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, when you do stuff like that, you end up in a situation where you owe $4 million for making up stories about a celebrity that you know is not true. It was proven that Cardi didn't have an STI, but you ran with that lie. So I gave you many opportunities. You refused to back down because your pride was more important. And we all know that Tasha has this sense of nastiness about her. I've heard many of stories. I've heard she said transphobic things about T.S. Madison. And she, you know, she didn't want her touch up when she was pregnant with her little African baby that she had. She told me she didn't want the roots or whatever put on her baby with you know, any of that juju whatever put on her stomach. No, that honey, that's from within. You literally like Corey Cunningham and Michael Myers. That evil been up in you. You just needed a little push for that shit to come out. And the push was in form of that damn Unwind show. Because I remember I used to watch her at some point, but then she started saying some real ignorant, homophobic, transphobic shit. I was like, oh no, I'm done clocked out, child. So let's get to these other topics because we got 15 minutes left in the show. Kaya's a lot more funnier though. Okay, so Issa Rae, who y'all know from Insecure, and she got that show RHOBH over on HBO, is calling out her home network because they're pretty much, she doesn't like the fact that Hollywood is continuing to protect predators like Ezra Miller, who is the star of their upcoming Flash movie that ain't coming out until next summer. You know, that movie's been I think it was supposed to come out 2 years ago. Why hasn't it kept? The Flash movie was in development since the original Flash series came on TV. So that's been like almost a decade. But I digress. So this story is via Uprock. So Issa Rae might have a multi-million-dollar deal with Warner Media that includes her current hit series RHOBH, but that's not about to stop her from calling out its newly informed parent company for protecting Ezra Miller. Now, y'all already know the story. It's the fact that he went and assaulted a girl in Iceland. Then he had a little fight in Hawaii. Then he broke into somebody's house. Then there was some story about him and a Native American non-binary person who he's been grooming. There was that story. They / them. You mean the movie? We're talking about, oh yeah, I forgot. Ezra Miller also identifies as non-binary, so they go by they, them pronouns. That actually slipped my brain. You know, it's I forgot. But they're also in a situation with a Native American non-binary child who the parents said that they groomed them. They / groomed them. Little movie joke that's on Peacock. I don't know if y'all saw they / them, but anyway. So here's what it says. She said, it starts with a backbone. While I don't support people jumping to immediate conclusions, and I think it's entirely fair for investigations to happen, I think it's extremely important to, like the mantra says, listen to women. I'm going to be real. The stuff that's happening with Ezra Miller is to be a microcosm of Hollywood. There's this person who's a repeat offender, who's been behaving atrociously, who as opposed to shutting them down and shutting the production down, there's an effort to save the movie and them. That is a clear example of the lengths that Hollywood will go to save itself and protect offenders. Ray's comments were a part of a larger discussion on the hashtag #MeToo movement, which she offered a simple solution: stop protecting offenders like Miller. She said, so don't do that. The women may be able to thrive. They want to have to live in fear of keeping silent because it'll ruin their careers. It's just a constant pattern of abuse that only persists if Hollywood continues to insist on being this way. Now, I do agree with her on that, and I'll say this. The reason why they're protecting Ezra Miller, because that damn movie cost them $300 million to make. And I heard not too long ago, they had them come into the studio, I don't know where they shot the damn movie, and had them do reshoots. They're still working on the damn movie. Now, what y'all should have did at that point, because y'all keep talking about, oh, it's too much money, we're spending too much money. We can't recast. Y'all should have recast somebody like a Dylan O'Brien as the new Flash. And I'm hoping that's what y'all do. Y'all put a multiverse angle up in there, because that exists in the DC world too. I don't know what they call that though. Can't think of it right now. But anyway, so y'all should do that. And also, so we can find a new person in the universe that y'all can bring in and help out with this movie, because I believe even if he atoned and got himself better, blah, 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 as they were saying, oh, I'm getting the help. Sorry, bro, I don't believe that. This is, HBO and Warner saving face. I do believe, hopefully Ezra is getting the help that they need. But with this situation, this movie is already immensely expensive. $300 million they spent on it. It's a lot of money. They're still working on effects and this, that, and the third. But y'all were quick to cancel the Batgirl movie, which cost y'all $90 million. Y'all could have still played that risk and worked out that movie. I know Brendan Fraser is still pissed about that. But anyway, so it's a karaoke beat up over a Lady Gaga performance, and the gays wanted Grant Gustin, but he said no. He's a father and wants to be husband and father. Well, yeah, I can agree with that. I didn't even know Grant Gustin had a kid. I stopped watching The Flash after season 4, I believe. That show, the problem I've always had with Greg Berlanti's Arrowverse is that they start out good and then they get ridiculous, and then those shows go on too long. First of all, y'all need to start chopping down the amount of episodes that y'all do with these superhero shows. Y'all should not be making these shows 22 episodes a season, and then you have 9 seasons. So you got, I get it, syndication money, all the other stuff. But it just, y'all run out of stuff to talk about and storylines to go into. A good 12, 13 episodes works for me. Look, She-Hulk just ended 10 episodes. It's a good season. I know a lot of people didn't like it. It's a whole other story, but She-Hulk just ended their show. They don't need 22 episodes to tell a story. It's better than 6. But that was another thing that was irritating me about Disney. So good luck to y'all over there. We'll see. But yeah, I do agree. This industry, you would think after Me Too and Time's Up and all that stuff, that Hollywood would have woken up. But we know Hollywood is a place that's in love with themselves. And they love to pat themselves on the back and act like they're doing something revolutionary when y'all just 20 years behind the rest of the times. So that's what that is. Well, I'll keep abreast of the stories as it develops, because I'm still waiting on Warner Brothers to even bring up and speak out about the allegations against Ezra. But they've just been acting like if we don't bring it up, it'll go away and nobody will talk about it. So us in media, we talk about it, but I guess they feel like the general public doesn't care. But we'll see if they can keep Ezra on track. But let's get to this Todrick thing, because we got 10 minutes left in the show. And I don't think it'll take me 10 minutes to talk about this, but let's get to it. So, maybe a week or two ago, news broke that Todrick Hall had been ordered by the court, not the blogs, since he wants to fight with bloggers and not address the real tea. So, since being ordered by the court to pay his landlords over $100,000 on back rent on a house, he's basically turned into an Airbnb at this point. The singer is hitting back at his critics. Now, Hall set his sights on reality TV podcaster it's Big Gail Adams, or it's a bi gay it don't matter. Child, we'll get to the video. You'll see it when the TikTok video show up. Who implored Big Brother castmates for hanging out with him. Now, here's what she said. We're gonna play that clip, and then I think it's a combination of clips. So we'll play her clip, and then we'll play Todrick's clip, and then we'll come back with the tea. Yeah, we'll see if Aquaman 2 flops.
I wish Big Brother contestants would stop hanging out with Todrick after their seasons because he is not a nice person. Especially considering he was incredibly problematic this winter on Celebrity Big Brother, and there's a laundry list of evidence to back it up. First of all, let's talk about the fact that he said he was the only person of color that was actually fighting to stay in the Big Brother house on his season.
I didn't need help in this house. Like, we have 4 black people in this house, and one of them is farting his way through the competition, one of them is sleeping his way through the competition, and one of them is playing Switzerland and basically baking her way to the end of the competition. I'm the only person of color that's like actually fighting to stay here, and I just don't appreciate you going around painting a narrative of me that was unwarranted, unfair, untrue. It just doesn't feel good.
And during that same argument with NSYNC's Chris Kirkpatrick, Todrick had the audacity to bring Chris's son into the argument.
What you did is not a noble act. It's not loyalty. It's not noble. I don't care how you try to slice it. It's not. And if your kid were to see that, he'd be like, Daddy, you turned on your team.
Don't you dare use that.
I did. I said it.
Todrick.
Fix this.
Don't worry though, Chris got the last laugh on that one. And then there's the time when Todrick said, "Don't be too hard on me" to Shayna Moakler, knowing very well that a home invader had said that to her during what she calls one of the most horrific moments of her entire life. Would stop hanging out with Todrick after their seasons because he is not a nice person.
I really wish that people who have never met me would just stop talking shit about me on the internet. Like, the audacity that you would feel comfortable enough to post a video about a perfect stranger publicly to anybody who could see it, to declare that this person that you've never met or breathed the same air as is not a nice person, which is a pretty ballsy statement, might I add, Miss Abigail, to increase your likes, your followers, your popularity, and to start a witch hunt against this person who is a human being and who has family and friends who see this fucking bullshit that you post, would, in some people's opinions, make you not a very nice person, Miss Thing. This might come as a newsflash to some of you, but reality TV is far from real, and you cannot judge a person's moral and ethic compass based on a social experiment where they are pushed to their limits, forced to live in situations that are pretty much unlivable with perfect strangers, and decide that that is who that person is 24 hours of the day. I don't think that that's fair, and I don't think that there's anybody watching this who doesn't have skeletons in their closet and who wouldn't be ashamed of some of the things that they might have said since the day they were born. It's literally the point of being a human being, and you're not Jesus, you're not God. I don't even believe in Jesus or God, but I definitely know that they are the only people that can judge me. I said they. That's kind of progressive for me. Come on, non-binary Jesus. Anyway, I have sat around for years and years and years and let people control my narrative online and say I don't pay my dancers, that I lied about my house, that I'm a bad person, that I'm this evil monster. And up until now, I've kind of been like, okay, no one's going to believe this. But at this point, I'm just not going to let people like you paint my narrative. I'm sure you're a lovely, sweet girl, and I'm sure that you're just trying to survive out here in these TikTok streets like everybody else. But you got to find a way to do it that's not tearing down somebody, because I'm a human being and I'm over it. And not that I think that you're entitled to this information because you're giving me Entitlement the Musical already, but I'm going to give you just a few of the answers to the things that you're using to tear me down, to just explain to you some perspective, because I was always taught that there are 3 sides to every story: their side, my side, and the receipts. The comment I said to Shayna was never about a home intruder. My house was broken into. I would not make a joke about that. It was about an ex-boyfriend. Still not nice, but not the facts that you're telling people. I did say that I was the only person of color in the house that was playing the game, because out of Todd, Lamar, and Cynthia, I was the only person who had ever watched Big Brother, and they did not know what was happening in the game, and that's just facts. I have made over 10,000 cameo videos for my fans, and I am grateful to all my fans for buying those cameos, but at some points, they have not been the most original videos. They have been more copy-paste happy birthday videos. That makes me a bad person. I'm sorry. You let me know when you're famous and you're making 10,000 cameo videos how original each one of yours are, and then we'll have this discussion again. At the end of the day, yes, I've made mistakes. I own up to that. I am not a perfect human, but I'm not going to sit around and let people tear me down, because guess what? You guys might have a big Twitter following, but I have fans too. And up until now, I have not unleashed my fans on anybody, but you're about to find out exactly how my fans feel about you bullying me. Have a good day.
Oh, it was the gaslighting for me. First of all, I can't believe he just thinks that he has the audacity to talk about, you have the audacity to say what you gonna say about Ma. Like, who are you? She's a girl who's reporting the news on TikTok, and I don't believe that that was what that was. You were talking about it was a boyfriend. Use exact verbiage that she said to you, and you used it. So now you're gonna sit up here and try to play like this thing like we all dumb. I watched Celebrity Big Brother. You were the one who created this whole narrative about yourself. And if that was the case, why didn't you sit down and do the interview like everybody else did that showed up in the finale? You waited a couple of weeks and did something with E.T. ass kissing show, because that's all they do. They don't really ask them real questions. They sit up there and kiss your behind. I was like, what? I don't hear anything. Oh, but anyway, I'm sure. Can y'all hear me? Anyway, so yeah. So to me, it's just like, it just felt like you were gaslighting this girl. That wasn't the only thing that everybody was asking about. It wasn't that you were you paying your dancers, this, that, and the other. You basically, are you paying your bills? And the funny thing is, I asked that question because in that exact video that he posted on Instagram, I was like, all I want to know is, does she pay her bills? And Tasha responded and was like, period. But sir, I was talking about you. I wasn't talking about Miss Abigail. So he didn't catch it because you so involved in your own shit that you didn't see that, Miss Mamas. I was asking, do you pay your bills? Because that's the key. There's word that you don't go around and you don't pay your dancers. Why does this cap? A lot of backup dancers don't get paid anyway, but a lot of them from Todrick and others, not just him. You don't pay your dancers. You ain't paying your bills. You turned your house into an Airbnb. Word on the curb was, and I know this, Trinity K. Bonet was at Todrick's house the other day. There the video, there, period. He responded, girl. So, so this is what people generally want to ask. Plus, the way you play the game on Celebrity Big Brother turn a lot of people off. So yeah, people don't know you, but when you go on a show that people assume is reality, they're going to judge you based on what they see and how you behave on TV. It's unfortunate, but honey, the many years that you've done judged RuPaul's Drag Race, you know how the game is played. So let's not play dumb. Let's not do that. So that's all people are saying. Like, you're saying that you've changed, you've atoned, but I don't feel like you really have. And I know I've had people out here sitting here saying that Tommy Italiano is being opportunistic. This comes from somebody who actually did a scene with him. Is he using this as a way to promote his OnlyFans and all that other stuff? I've heard the stories. I've had people say this to me. I don't think that's what that is. I just think that this is someone who has had to deal with him, knows who he is, has been working to get himself vindicated. If he is probably using the opportunity to piggyback and promote himself, who the fuck wouldn't? Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to this industry. We all do that shit. If there's an opportunity to whore yourself out and present yourself and piggyback over somebody you had experience with, I do the same damn thing. Call me thirsty, call whatever. I don't give a damn. But I be doing it. Gladly. So speaking of Tommy McKissick, aka Tommy Italiano, let's get to this clip of him responding to this whole situation, because you know he stay with it. Oh wait, I can't use that phrase because that's going to come across as racist. So I'm not going to do that. Was a neat thing. Shut up. I use that analogy. So he stays on Todrick's ass as he should.
I've sat around for years and years and years and let people control my narrative online and say I don't pay my dancers, that I lied about my house, that I'm a bad person, that I'm this evil monster. And up until now, I've kind of been like, okay, no one's going to believe this.
Todrick Hall's former assistant, Tommy McKissick, has made some very alarming allegations against him. Racial bias against other black people, doesn't pay people, which actually That is an accusation that's been leveled against Todrick repeatedly and consistently now for many years.
Yes, I've made mistakes. I own up to that. I am not a perfect human, but I'm not going to sit around and let people tear me down, because guess what? You guys might have a big Twitter following, but I have fans too. And up until now, I have not unleashed my fans on anybody, but you're about to find out exactly how my fans feel about you bullying me. Have a good day.
He has a history of using his social media to bully and threaten people into silence. He's done it to Scooter Braun. He's done it to Kim Kardashian. He's done it to me. He's done it to his ex-boyfriend, Danny. The list goes on. And let's not mention the fact that he had an employee and fan attack me at a bar and try to steal my phone because they don't like what I'm tweeting and posting. You could start by taking ownership and apologizing to people, but that would be too difficult, because what people do, they gaslight, they double down, and they try to attack the person who's criticizing them to begin with. You're not going to win this battle, Todrick. You are wrong in every way.
And there you have it. So I will definitely keep you guys abreast on this story regarding Fraudrick and all of his scamations and all the other drama and the melodrama and stuff. But yeah, like I said, he's had a history of doing this to people. He's had a history of using his social media to silence people and to bully. And he thinks apparently that he's Nicki Minaj and his fans are the Barbs, that they could go in and let have whenever somebody says something that they don't like. But the reality of the fact of the matter is, we'll just say that, is that when you celebrities are out here and y'all make the news, our job is to report it. And y'all know y'all like it because it keeps y'all asses trending. So stop trying to play this game like we don't see through it. I'm born and raised in New York. I know how this game is played. From the politics of hip hop on down to the entertainment. I lived in LA. I know how the game is played with this shit, so stop. Anyway. Love you all for watching. Thank you all. We are at the end of the show. I know look, this was a key. I live for you. So anyway, right there at @Avalon on my handles. Click like, subscribe. Definitely like this video. Let everybody know about it. Share it. Love it. Comment. I want your comments on a lot of these topics. Good, bad, and indifferent. I definitely want to hear what y'all got to say about, this whole Nicki Latto thing. I would love to hear your opinions on Halloween Ends. I just want to, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, all of that, because we definitely want to talk about part 2 on the next episode. So once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, ciao, darlings.